Okay, so we're going to pick the inch mill. We're going to do a rectangular part. So, to kind of help you get started, let's show some mouse controls. You can't see my mouse clicks, but I'm going to either say left click, which would be the left side of the mouse clicker. I'm going to say right click, of course, it'll be the right clicker. Then I might say middle button, which is a little spin dial that you can use to scroll to zoom in and out. So I'm going to go up here and I will pick it by left clicking it, and it highlights, and I will say OK. And you're going to come up with a solid part uh, already created in X, Y, and Z. And you can see this part. If you click over here, what I'm going to call white space, all this stuff is not a part. If I click on that, I can take my arrow keys on my keyboard and I can move the part around to look at different views. Now I also have the ability to pick a view by clicking on the space bar of your keyboard, and when I do that, it comes up and it shows the cube. And if you hover over a face, it will tell you over on the right side. You can see up here it says front at the very top right corner. If I go over here to the right, it says right side. I can also do the same thing by going into this orientation bar. Notice I'm over the middle one. It says front, right, back. I normally always do from the front. Front view is the busiest view. So I'm going to click it, and you're going to see it orientate into a two-dimensional part. Now this part is a 1-2-3 aluminum block. This is what it's set up for. Of course, this is most of your projects are 1 inch by 2 inch by 3 inches. So what we have to decide now is this the size of the material that we're going to make, or do we need to change it? So if we're going to change this thing to a different size, say we're going to make something ½ inch by 3 by 6, piece of aluminum. Well, to change that, the thickness is modified by going over to this boss extrude. This over here, I call this area the tree. It's got all your features, views, origins, various things that you can click on that will give you quick access to that particular feature or property. Right now, all we have is one feature, this solid, this boss extrude. So if I click on the arrow to the left of it, I usually say if I explode that feature, it means I'm clicking on this arrow. You can see that this feature has a sketch to it. Okay, the sketch is going to be like the boundary. It's going to be like the outline of the part. Whereas the boss extrude is, we're going to take that boundary and we're going to give it volume, depth. So to change this part, which is a 1 inch by 2 inch by 3 inch part, and we want to change it to a ½ inch by 3 inch by 6 inch part, what we would have to do is right click on this boss extrude. We go up here and hit the edit feature. You notice how I hover, it'll finally show up edit feature. Another thing about Solidworks, the most used keys will be up here in this top left corner. But we'll left click on that edit feature, and it highlights that it's 1 inch thick. And you can also look over in the view and you see a 2 inch by 3 inch outline, a boundary. And it's going to be 1 inch thick. So we need to change this to 0.5. So we just enter 0.5. We hit a return key. And then we hit the green check mark that says we're through with that. And now, if we click out here in a white space, rotate our part around a little bit with our keys, you'll see that the part is half as thick as it was before. Pretty cool, right? Now, if we want to change the boundary of it, we can go over to this sketch 1 that's shown right here, and we can right click on it, and we can edit sketch, now you can see your 2" by 3". So we're going to double left click on this 3". It's going to come up and has a modify bar, says 3 inches. We're going to enter in 6. Hit return key. We'll go do the same thing for this 2". We'll double click it, and we're going to change that to 3 inches, because this is inch mode. Now that we've got our sketch boundary redesigned, we go up to this, what I call red light, green light. We go up to here and we'll click on that, or if you like using your keyboard, you can use Control B, but I'll just use the icon. I click on that, and now you see your part looks bigger. I'm going to take my scroll bar on my mouse, and I'm going to roll it around and make it smaller. Okay, so now I've made a bigger part. Okay, so I've made a change to this thing, and it's time to save it. So I'm going to go over here and File, Save As, and here you will give it your name. I recommend that you put it on your desktop so that you always know how to go get it when you want to, say, maybe upload it to Canvas as your assignment, and then you name it. Maybe put the name of it and your name on it. So this would be like test part, SH for my initials, and save it. That way, if we close it, the computer goes down, power goes off. Well, if power goes off, we lose the file anyhow. But if you shut your application down, you can go retrieve that part file. Now that's how we create the initial boundary, or raw material size of the part that we're going to machine. That was pretty easy, was it not?